Imagine a world of mountains, a world shaped by stone, wind, and endless struggle, a land where stories lived in the voices of wandering storytellers. Among those ancient tales, one name stands above the rest, a name carried in songs for generations, Rustam Zal, the unstoppable hero of Kurdish legend. Today, I will tell you his story, a story of strength, a story of courage, a story of a man who refused to bow to tyranny. Rustam Zal was born in the rugged lands of the Zagros Mountains. People say that the moment he entered the world, the wind shifted, the night birds silenced, and the elders whispered that fate had delivered someone extraordinary. He grew faster than any child of his tribe. At 7, Rustam Zal could lift stones many grown men could not move. At 10, he stood as tall as the warriors who guarded the village. By 12, he carried a strength that even hunters feared. What made Rustam Zal legendary was not only his size, it was his spirit, calm, focused, unbreakable. He never boasted about his strength. He simply helped anyone who needed him. He carried water for elders. He protected shepherds from wolves. He cleared fallen trees, blocking the mountain paths. People admired him, and they wondered what destiny had prepared for him. During the youth of Rustam Zal, the region fell under the rule of a cruel tyrant. His soldiers rode from village to village. They took crops, they took livestock, they took young men for distant wars. Villages lived in fear. Mothers wept at night, fathers hid their anger. Children froze when they heard the sound of distant hoofbeats. Rustam Zal saw all of this. He saw how darkness stretched across the mountains like a storm with no end. One evening, the elders gathered. They spoke of hunger, of loss, of suffering. Rustam Zal stood. His voice was calm, yet full of thunder. "If a mountain blocks our path," he said, "we climb it. If a tyrant blocks it, we break him." The elders stared in silence. They no longer saw a boy, but the beginning of a legend. The next morning, Rustam Zal prepared for the journey. He carried no armor. He carried no sword, only a wooden staff and the strength of his conviction. People begged him not to go. They said the tyrant's fortress was guarded by an army. They said no man could fight them alone. But Rustam Zal smiled gently. Hope does not grow unless someone plants it. He walked toward the rising sun, toward danger, toward destiny. The road was long, wind carved through the valleys, dust rose with every step, but his resolve never weakened. Some say wild animals stepped aside as he passed. Some say an eagle followed him from above. Others swear the mountains themselves guided his path. When Rustam Zal reached the fortress, the guards laughed. They saw one man before towering stone walls. "Go home, boy," one guard shouted. "You cannot fight the world." Rustam Zal whispered one word, "Watch." With a single strike of his staff, he shattered the iron chain of the gate. The sound echoed like lightning across the valley. 5 guards charged at once. But Rustam Zal moved like a storm. His staff spun in the air. His fists struck like thunder. The ground shook beneath his steps. In moments, the guards lay defeated. Not dead, but unable to rise. He pushed deeper into the fortress. Every soldier who faced him fell. Some dropped their weapons and fled. Others begged him to stop. But Rustam Zal fought not for glory. He fought for justice. He fought for the people who had no one to defend them. Finally, Rustam Zal reached the tyrant's hall. The ruler stood in golden armor. His crown shimmered, his voice trembled. "You are just one warrior," the tyrant said. "Do you think you can defeat my rule?" Rustam Zal stepped forward. His shadow drowned the throne. "One is enough," he said, "when the truth stands with him." The tyrant drew his sword. Rustam Zal raised his staff. Their duel began. Steel clashed, dust rose. The walls shook with every strike. The tyrant fought desperately. But Rustam Zal fought with purpose. With one final blow, he brought the tyrant down. Silence filled the hall. He did not celebrate. He did not shout. He simply turned and walked out of the fortress. The villages were free. When Rustam Zal returned, the people gathered around him. They wanted to lift him on their shoulders. They wanted to sing his name. They wanted to call him king, but he refused. "Do not praise me," he said. "Praise the courage you forgot you had." He stayed only long enough to make sure his people were safe. Then he returned to the mountains. Some say he became a wandering protector. Some say he lived among shepherds. Others say he still watches from the high ridges of the Zagros, guarding the spirit of his people. Rustam Zal is remembered not because he was strong, but because he used his strength for others. He is remembered not because he fought battles, but because he fought for those who could not fight for themselves. In Kurdish culture, Rustam Zal stands as a symbol of resistance, a symbol of endurance, a symbol of the belief that even in the darkest times, one brave heart can ignite a fire that changes everything. And that is the legend of Rustam Zal, the giant of the mountains, the breaker of tyranny, the hero whose name still echoes across Kurdistan. Some say that if you listen to the wind in those mountains, you can still hear his footsteps, steady, strong, enduring through time. This is the legacy of Rustam Zal.